When companies get bought, we always say they'll never change, but yet they do change, don't they? Here's a change, and not for the better. Hello, and welcome to Trucking Answers. I'm Mark, your transfer host. And today we're going to talk about Millis Transfer. A number of you astute viewers sent this in to me about idle policy at Millis and how it's changing. So let's get into that and why I can no longer recommend Millis Transfer to new drivers. That's correct. The new policy is 30%. 30% max idle time. And what they do, if you exceed 30%, they start taking your fuel bonus away. You get a fuel bonus there for fueling at the proper locations and stuff like that, and they're going to take it away. If that doesn't work and they can't take any more of that away, they're going to reduce the maximum speed of the truck, which of course reduces your pay. They can't really reduce your pay because in many states that's a problem, taking wages. They have to pay your wages that you've earned. But they can reduce the maximum speed of the truck. Now, what I've heard from drivers there is that it could be reduced as low as 55. Now, I don't know if that's true. I do know that they will reduce the speed. And for what it's worth, I wrote to Millis almost 3 business days ago now and waited for a response before I did a video to see what's Millis's side of this. Do they want to talk about it? Turns out they don't. Even though they have a contact form, hey, contact us if you have any questions. I contacted them. No response. Because why? They don't care. Here's the thing. Companies like this that do this kind of stuff, they don't care. So a driver now has to choose between safety, getting a good night's sleep, and pay, feeding their family. That should never be a choice a driver makes. Drivers should be able to expect a good paycheck and still be safe and have a company that will honor their fact that they're a person, right? Not an animal. They're not John Merrick out there. Okay, so the thing is, right, they need to get a good night's sleep. And so to do that in Houston, which is always my example, you need to run the truck all night. What companies say, and I don't know if Bella says this, but what times a lot of companies say is, oh, an hour before you stop, crank the air up in the sleeper, and then when you get there, it'll be nice and cool, and you can just go to sleep. You can't sleep for 30 minutes in Houston before you're covered with sweat. It's super oppressive. Now, I didn't know this when I was a new person, when I was a baby. I didn't know it, and before I drove, I'd never been around the country. I didn't realize how hot and humid it can be in these places. You've got to have the air running all night. I think what Millis should do is turn the air conditioning off at the office at 8 a.m. Why? That's 30% of the day, midnight to 8 a.m. They've used their 30% up. The rest of the day, no air conditioning. Or ask them, look, we'll run the air, but we want to reduce, you're going to make less money this week. See what all the dispatch and that think about that. Maybe the head of Millis ought to go sleep in a truck in Houston with it turned off overnight here coming up in July, August, and see how that works for you. The problem is these kind of ridiculous policies are always put in place by some pinhead in the office, usually in accounting or something like that, something stupid, who doesn't think it through, doesn't have to sleep in a truck, who gets to go home to their family every night. They don't have to sweat to death in a truck or freeze to death in the wintertime. With this policy, I no longer recommend Millis to new people. I will stop that immediately, and I'll put that on the other video that I've done about them, not to go there until this kind of policy changes. That's my opinion of the place. You can work there all you want. Now, if you think this is a great policy and you want to write to me, Mark, this is good, it saves money, save it, right? Go tell somebody who cares, because I want drivers to be out there. It's hard enough. You have to be gone from your family. You barely make any money compared to what it used to be. And now what? Oh, you also have to sweat to death and then freeze in the winter so Millis can make more money and pay the bonuses to all the upper CEOs and everything while drivers get it. Oh, if you'll turn your truck off and sweat to death, you can make another $10 this week, right? Ridiculous. Just ridiculous. This kind of stupid policy is ridiculous. This is the same kind of place then that, believe me, soon will be griping, oh, we can't find any drivers. Yeah, duh, right? Nobody should work under those kind of conditions. They shouldn't. Okay, so if you're there, my recommendation is to leave. And if you're going there, my current recommendation then is going to be don't. We'll find somewhere else for you to go, or a company that cares enough to at least let you be comfortable and get a night's sleep so that you can be safe. Also, I want to say I wrote to the Hammer. For those of you in the Indiana area and maybe around the country and how far as billboards go, I wrote to them. I sent them a copy of this policy and a note. saying, look, I'm an experienced driver and this is why this policy is not safe. So should something like this come before him where he needs some information, I give him my contact information and why this policy makes a driver less safe, and he can hold that against them hopefully in the future. Will anything come of it? I don't know. I hope so. Maybe that's the way we can get some kind of policy like that changed. I'll be happy to work with them, do whatever I can to get that changed. So that's where we are with Millis. I'm out for now until I hear from them or the policy changes, all right? If you have any other missives, send it to me from all these companies, good or bad, right? I don't release who sends this to me. You send it to me, I delete your email immediately. I don't know who you are. These companies, I don't work for these companies, so they can't fire me. So that's how it goes. Thanks for watching. We'll be back soon with more Trucking Answers.